there's a Melville quote I've always liked, the one and only voice of God is silence.
Mm.
And I've heard you talk a lot about sort of our inability to, that human beings are limited by their five senses to kind of understand reality, understand the world. And that in many ways our senses kind of lie to us. And that silence is sort of this one kind of godlike thing that we as human beings can somehow grasp at, because silence has no beginning, it has no end, it's infinite, it has no time, it's outside of time and space, it has no form, it has no location. So in some ways it feels a bit like a portal to God. Is that how you treat it? Do you have what's your relationship with silence?
Through meditation, there is a relationship with silence, but the way that I continue to experience meditation is I primarily note disturbance like for me the experience of meditating, I sit down, I think, okay, right, mantra, and then I'm aware of, it becomes acutely aware of any external noise, and that I'll have to let go of that. And then in the internal noise of in a monologue narrative thinking, the way I was taught to meditate by Bob Roth from the David Lynch Foundation, he continues to reiterate, because I suppose I continue to resist it, thought is part of meditation. There will be thought. You have to let go of the striving. You innocently undertake meditation. You return to the mantra. It doesn't have to be pronounced or aggressive. Sometimes it's very faint and barely there at all. You don't. You let go of the idea that there's something that's going to be achieved, because you see, because I'm, again, this is why the 12 steps are important to me. I receive most things through the lens of addiction. Even when meditating, I'm trying to attain escape and numbness, and transcendence can feel like, escape and numbness. There's the absence of self. When there are the moments when meditation is inverted comma successful, although that flies in the face of everything I've been taught and told, it's, oh wow, I'm not here anymore. That's cool, which we only know afterwards, of course. But how I've been taught is, well, even when you're there and you just think you're sat with your eyes shut and you're just thinking about the past or the future, or you're projecting, if you are, consciously returning to the mantra in an unhurried, unflustered way, whenever you notice you're not thinking the mantra, your body is healing, you are getting the rest. They kind of, the way I've been taught meditation, it's in a sense quite perfunctory in some ways. Like a lot of the people that practice it, like say Jerry Seinfeld or like Howard Stern, I feel like there's a lot of, and this is obviously how they've been taught, from the Maharishi ultimately, or at least in terms of its Western practice. That's what they've been taught. They've been taught that it's a kind of tool, and I suppose all spirituality could be regarded as utilitarian. But I like the mystery. I'm interested in shamanism. I like voluptuousness. I think, while as you've said about the senses and the acknowledgement of their limitations, and that they're pathways, and that they can be illusory, and that they can be misleading, and by virtue of the fact that they're necessarily limited, the information that you're getting is collated, curated, bounded, and that there is the unbounded, there is limitlessness. I still am. Even in meditative practice, I want some kind of, some escape, some sensual thing, sort of. It's interesting, but there are times when I feel like I've meditated and it goes how I would have it go, which is absence of thought, absence of self, and I feel like, well, God, why would I ever do anything else? This is bliss. This is what I was looking for as a drug addict, or through promiscuity, or I want to be free of the self, and I think that that's telling that the drive behind addiction is a kind of self-annihilation. It has always been a spiritual problem. Even in less extreme situations or less extreme demonstrations, people drink because they want to feel good. They eat foods that are bad for them because they want to feel good. They watch porn or movies because they want to feel good. That's, for me, that's a spiritual issue. You're trying to make yourself feel better, and we will settle for pleasure. And in this silent practice, there you have freedom from that. You have freedom from that impulse.